Hello, Pisces. Welcome to a timeless Justice for Pisces reading. A couple things about this reading is that the title is probably the reason that got you within this reading. Bear in mind, in choosing to do so, you are signing up into using your discernment to take all the bits and pieces that resonate with you. If nothing or anything does or doesn't, then leave the rest behind as you would leave the reading behind. Inevitably so, okay? Justice is a topic that the channel that this video represents is titled and named Sekhmet. To know a little or a lot is irrelevant for what it could be, what could be intriguing within this reading, within this content, within this reading, or any other form of entertainment, okay? Yet bear that in mind while your emotions within this reading it may be triggered, okay? That justice is not necessarily merciful, and if it is, that's great, but it's not about meeting or justifying emotions. And bear that in mind as you made a personal decision, okay, coming into this reading and taking what you desire. In doing so, it is also important that you remember that this is not a one-to-one reading with you and I exclusively, and that will help you also determine with a grain of salt, more or less, in your intuition, what is yours, what is not. All right, Pisces. Again, this is for whomever is in the audience. And some other detail while I get ready for the reading is that I am Master 7th, aka 7th, that reads these energies for you. Should you want to know her details, what I have to offer, and all that jazz, in the description box there is some detail, okay? For a tiny bit of clarity, I am a master healer that provides remote wellness alignments and tarot intuitive insights, such as this one, okay? Feminine and masculine energies are non-gender specific. However, please remember that femininity encapsulates both masculine and feminine energies, and masculinity encapsulates both feminine and masculine energies as well. All right, 10 of Cups. All right, I like that. It's a great start. And you're anticipating a great end. You're hopeful. Yeah, you're anticipating it's a great start, and you're anticipating a great ending. Okay. You're not afraid of understanding their trials and tribulations, but the whole entire journey in and out of the unknown is a journey that you have been working on in via heavy meditation, isolation, contemplation, and putting in a lot of thinking gears to get a comfortable understanding of not only your life but existence, perhaps, and the relationship between you and it, okay? So I like that a lot, because what it shows is that the gears of engines are working, okay? 3 of Pentacles is that, like, all right, what is working of the machines and what is not, all right? When do you need to learn to let go and allow someone else to come in, step into a role so that something can get done? And you're learning that bit of that journey slowly and surely while you have detoxed in and out of your life emotional traumas. Some of these traumas don't have logical closure, and that's sometimes the hardest part of their journey, to try to, like, fine-tune and finite so that the gears that feel like they want to just announce themselves of discomfort have enough lubrication that they don't bother you so much. And what that lubrication that could be, like this oil check, is a subtle introduction or a massive introduction or a deep plunge into what it means for thyself to be more aligned in the inner complexities of life, okay? Whether that is using guided meditation, color therapy, music therapy, becoming a hands-on Reiki practitioner and then some, or just anything having to do with using the vibrations of quantum magic to facilitate and trigger healing and getting results. Let me adjust here. You're not as formerly. I have mentioned that Pisces has an issue of stepping out into the light. They know so much, but they refuse to step into the light, meaning that can mean so many things, all right? But where I would want to check off the mile marker is not stepping into the light is knowing that you've healed and knowing how unique and different the world of that which of is you explored is teaching you that you are. And you've accepted that song and dance, and you're learning your alpha and omega and beta energies of your own and your own accord and your own maturity and your own time and space and mental aptitude, emotional intelligence, and then some. Yet, when it comes to really practicing the coping skills, you're not yet really, and maybe not even meant to be a master of that, because, I mean, that's part of life, right? It's always trials and tribulations processing anything. And the major transaction that could be invested in to pay attention to is the transaction of breath. And at the same time, some of you have done a lot of backdrop spiritual work here, all right? Like closet spiritual work here. But when I say you haven't stepped into the light, is that you haven't given yourself the courage to step into, to reshape yourself within society. It's like some of y'all, to get to the punchline, want to stay off grid, turned woke, enlightened, had an awakening, and you're like, oh, fuck this shit, fuck this society, you know? And you've gotten yourself, or want to aim towards being off grid. I don't think that that is going to be the logical, nor since I've been there, done that, seen it, understand that whole entire shit. It's not sustainable for where the energy of your intelligence requires the most of your attention. Something for you to think about and consider. All right. Moving right along. All right. 9 of Wands. So that's the elephant in the room here, okay? The proof in the pudding that you might be really good at transactionalizing and winning over a lot of people's minds, hearts, and attention. At the same time, there's an element of where you also need to heal, and you also need to remain humble into the regards of what works and what doesn't, and how you may also need to have a finite understanding of what femininity means, since within this reading at least, it's premised itself off as saying, hey, I'm masculine and feminine, and masculinity says, hey, I'm feminine and masculine as well. So there is not just feminine masculine, there is not just that, okay? There is feminine masculine, masculine feminine, feminine masculine, masculine feminine, feminine feminine, masculine masculine. Okay. And you can politicize that argument however the fuck you want, but no matter what it looks like is gender specific, for which all of that is not. I'm gonna say scripture this and book this. Book was written by a hand. Book was written by a hand, that means it cannot be trusted. It is, however, a message. King of Wands, taking in what you can, taking in what you will, providing what you should, providing what you can't. But you can't, because the part where you can't provide it are all the other variables that want to argue with you, that say this is accepted by you or via you or not. That's your challenging energy. That's also an inevitable force of possibility of action, reaction. So it's best to, instead of staying in the dark corner manipulating the energy and binding people like some of y'all are doing spiritually. Look at that. Instead of binding people like you do spiritually and thinking that's the way of showing up for war and doing your spiritual work, that's not having you out in the battlefield and knowing what's going on, though. It's literally you standing there in the throne that nobody wants anymore. The people no longer want shit in the background. They want things in their face. They want the truth right there in the pudding. And I think there's something within that is smelling of interest and of curiosity. Just don't eat bad fish, Pisces, if you're still a pescatarian. All right. Unfortunately, this reading is coming to an end. There's not much else wanting to come forth for you. We have Gemini, curiosity, number 3. There's a lot of in the darkness that you've made sense on, okay? And your darkness is however you depict darkness to be. But you've risen a lot out of that in the resting position, yeah? You were in a lot of rethinking and a lot of contemplation. You made sense of a lot of your emotions, and you came out on top. Literally, you came out on top. You know, the question is, have you stepped out into the light? And if you understand what that means, great. But you also could embody, this is going to be contradicting the whole reading. But you can also maintain this position and also step into the light. That will make sense for those who it makes sense. All right, so curiosity rests the beam. This is a good time for someone to save money. All right, this is a good time to it's a good time to save. It's not the best 2025 timeline to build anything. But you could build on top of. Someone's thinking about possibly a tattoo. Someone's thinking about maybe seeking a therapist. Plastic surgery is coming up. Someone should engage their mind by reading stories, reading books. I'm hearing specifically the genre of nonfiction, okay? I'm hearing crime, drama, documentaries of interest. I'm also hearing healing, so doula. Numerology, numerologist. Farming, planting seeds now, harvest in September, right? Spring equinox at this time of recording of the reading. All right, with that being said, Pisces, I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.